They have Taylor Swift. We have an elderly man who goes by the Twitter alias Catturd. I'm dying from cringe. You smell that? It smells like burning cringe. Ugh. I always hated that smell. But unfortunately,
this meme is very real.
The stink of cringe is permeating the air. And there's something that we need to do about it. And it seems like when there's smoke, there's fire. And boy, am I inhaling enough smoke to kill a African elephant. Take a look at this. Yes, it's real. I promise you I did not inspect element this. Blaze Media.
Red-pilled?
Sure, so true. Sure, the left has Taylor Swift, but we have Catturd. This is an actual article written by an actual human being who saw the jihad that the right wanted to do on Taylor Swift and said, we can do one better. Don't worry, we have an elderly man. We have an elderly man who wears a cowboy hat built like a bullfrog that can take us to victory. They have Taylor Swift. We have an elderly man who goes by the Twitter alias Catturd. I'm dying from cringe. What is Catturd? Okay, so Catturd is a really popular in the conservatives on racism Twitter. Okay, let me be honest. Catturd is a popular poster on Twitter, racism Twitter specifically, who's basically like Jesus for like massive right-wing Trump conspiracy theorists. Elon Musk follows him personally. He loves the guy. He's on Fox News. He's basically kind of like old white geezer libs of TikTok, basically. But his name is Catturd. Okay, let me show you. Here he is. Here's the guy, and you may be like, what the heck? But what the heck is the right explanation? Yes, this is him. This is him with Donald Trump. 2 million followers. He's pretty big on racism Twitter, I can't lie. And this is who he is. He basically makes his job is basically posting on Twitter. Very sad. Listen, if you think, because people have bad things to say about YouTubers, I get it. We're cringe. Sure, fine. Okay, I get it. At least it's above Twitter poster. I mean, come on. Like, let's just be honest with ourselves. Your job being Twitter poster, like, have some respect. I don't want to be like that, but like have you no shame? The lowest rung. Have you no shame? This isn't even like the lowest hanging fruit. The fruit's actually touching the ground. You're picking fruit off of a goddamn weeping willow. it's that bad. Men used to be men, but now they go by Catturd on twitter.com. The turd you can't flush. That's true. He's Elon's favorite turd. With this being said, somebody decided to write an opinion article on Blaze Media, the far-right media organization that used to have Eliza Schaefer, well-known woman abuser, as their writer, and also massive, super-duper racist, who's peddled into that after he cheated on his wife and assaulted a woman at his workplace at the Blaze, but still was able to be there. It was so bad that there was actually a sexual harassment claim made on him. You know how bad it has to be to have something like that in right-wing media? Like, you can do crazy things, right? I mean, Sean Hannity basically had a slave auction for one of his female coworkers who helped put together a show, and he's still working there. I mean, come on. Anyways, let's take a little look. Why would a relatively small player in the culture wars be an example of an effective pushback against the biggest pop star on the planet? Look behind the scenes. Yeah, why is Mr. Catturd the one to lead us to greatness? Let's see. I was certainly rooting for the Baltimore Ravens to beat the Kansas City Chiefs a couple of Sundays back, and after that, I wanted the underdog Detroit Lions to pounce all over the San Francisco 49ers. To be clear, the drama staged by the NFL powers that be surrounding Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift's boyfriend, just like Simone Biles' husband, was not the motivating factor for cheering on the opposing Ravens. What turned me into a Ravens fan was my appreciation that Baltimore's head coach gave glory where glory was due. The previous Sunday, following the team's win over Houston Texans, the coach began his post-game press conference by reading a scripture verse that was where all praise went to God Most High when it came to victory. All right, dog. Sure, buddy. I watched one of the Ravens Chiefs game until the Ravens were involved in a couple of wacky plays. Bro, are you going to get to the article? It's not even that long of an article, but he's still yapping. He's still yapping. By 10 points at the time, but with most of the fourth quarter yet to play, the deficit was certainly not insurmountable. But when the quarterback Lamar Jackson threw the interception into the end zone with just under 7 minutes to play, I'd have enough. I mean, Jackson that had a receiver. What? Okay, thank you, brother. Post game and out. Okay, we're moving on. We're not doing this. I'm not doing this right now. It certainly seems that if you're looking for viewership for the upcoming Super Bowl, you would want more than just a toss up and a may the best team wins as the sole ho-hum driving force. Wouldn't you want drama and intrigue and, yes, a bit of romance thrown in the mix? Now that's a show. Bro, I'm sorry. We're not living in one of your shitty novels, okay? This is the real. Get a grip, bro. Get a grip. Get a grip, man. Calm down. Someone's horny. This is just another one of the Taylor Swift conspiracy theories. If you haven't been keeping up, the conservatives have had like a massive conspiracy theory about Taylor Swift being a plant in by the powers that be, by the deep state, to be able to push up a pop singer, ingrain her in society, and then turn the entire electorate against her, against the Republicans in time, by being a woman, by being popular. Like Charlie Kirk said that she's white woman married from the Bible, basically. Just all this type of stuff. Right. And we were watching a video from some guys who believe that Taylor Swift has been has been a deep state, not an industry plant, beyond the industry that controls the industry, a deep state plant since the mid 2000s by pumping up her music, because when he worked on a military base, he used to see Taylor Swift albums and they used to play Taylor Swift on the radio. And so he was like, nobody listens to Taylor Swift. So he knew that they were being planted inside of the military to one day turn the military against the Republican president who was doing too many good things for America, to instill a Democratic junta and overthrow the Republican president, all at the helm of Taylor Swift's soft and white woman hands, to be able to end all days for Republicans. It was some pretty weird stuff going on. Some pretty weird stuff. And Charlie Kirk and crew also talked about where her eggs are and how she should be pumping out babies as soon as possible, because she's basically hitting the wall, I guess. This woman is an example of the wall, I guess. Strange stuff. This shit run deep. Listen, this Taylor Swift shit don't be no game. We don't play no games with this Taylor Swift stuff, okay? Lock in or get out. Such a heady combination would draw in a totally new audience to replace the fans that have dwindled because of the NFL's far left end zone messaging and its everything gay promotions. This is just crazy. You know, this really reminds me. Remember that Nick Merckx guy who had his skin removed because he got like he had his skin removed. Somebody once told me that they didn't know what I was talking about, and they made it seem like somebody they flayed him. They removed his skin from his body like a medieval execution method. He had a skin of him removed from Call of Duty because he was being homophobic, and then he quit Call of Duty and he said he'd never be back until he got his skin put back. Activision never gave him his skin back, and the other day he recently came back because his viewership was dropping because he wasn't playing Call of Duty, and that's all people really care about him for. Really weird stuff. Anyways, it's just really interesting because I remember Charlie Kirk specifically saying, Charlie Kirk, Jack Prosebiak, all these types of like big name conservative talking heads talking about how they're never going to watch the NFL or the Super Bowl ever again. Every single year making tweets about the Super Bowl or whatever. Like Ben Shapiro said the same thing as well, making tweets about it because they're still watching it because they can't stop watching it because they love it. They love it too much. They love it too much. They can't help themselves. The Colin Kaepernick thing didn't stop them, right? Saying that gay people don't deserve to be hung didn't stop them. They really want the NFL to move to the right, but they won't put their money where their mouth is. They love the NFL too much. They love big men grabbing other men. They can't stop themselves from watching. Who can't? Guilty as charged. Anyways. By the way, can a man who has transitioned soon be part of the NFL squad so that the league can boast about gender inclusivity? Sure, who cares? Get a life. Get actual problems. You ever think about that? Have you actually decided to get actual problems with your life? Bro's actually sitting here like at the corner of his bed, like rocking back and forth, thinking about how like a trans man might one day be on an NFL team. Who gives a shit? Move on. Didn't you say the country is burning down or something? Can't you like talk about, I don't know, like a migrant Genghis Khan running across the nation to soon outbreed the white race? Like, dude, do you not have literally any other problem to talk about? Is the news cycle that slow? If you want to ensure that your Chiefs are seen as the good guys in the upcoming matchup, you certainly don't want the underdog. Never been to the big dance Lions in the mix. Well, we all know how much America loves to root for the underdog. Now, I want to make myself clear. I'm not suggesting in any provable hanky panky. This is why conservative media is dying. Hanky panky is afoot within the halls of the power of the NFL. I am simply suggesting, I think it is fair to say that the way things have worked out has caused more than just a few of us to utter one big, huh? Not the hanky panky. Don't you hate it when she hits you with the hanky panky? It's so weird. It's so weird how everything has to be a conspiracy theory to these guys. Remember like Tim Pool's conspiracy theory, that the conspiracy theory is that there's a conspiracy theory? Because normal these type of conservatives are like, the conspiracy theory is that like Taylor Swift, one of the most popular, least controversial, famous people in the country, is at a football game where her boyfriend's playing. That's a conspiracy, apparently. And then obviously they like put the camera on her sometimes because she's famous. Tim Pool thinks the conspiracy theory is that they're making a conspiracy theory to make conservatives go crazy because conservatives want to kill people so often. So they'll make a Trump supporter think that there's a conspiracy theory about Taylor Swift, making him want to kill Taylor Swift, but they'll stop Taylor Swift from being killed, mind you, so that they can go back to be able to say conservatives are so crazy to be able to make Donald Trump lose the election and push Joe Biden in because they'll make conservatives look bad. I personally think it's just him confirming that he believes that conservatives would kill people because they don't want to vote for Donald Trump. That's just me though. You all remember that clip? Brain forever shrinking. Wait, I'm not sure if I have it anymore. Yeah, here we go. Beautiful. Thank you, Tim Pool News. You're such a great poster.
Area where a visible Trump supporter screaming that she's working for the CIA attacks her. You want to know how to get you? I'll tell you what I think. I think the PSYOP is the PSYOP. All these people on the right claiming she's a government agent is the PSYOP. Because then what happens is, at the Super Bowl, it's not that there's a marriage proposal. It's that a guy in a MAGA hat runs up to the camera screaming she's working for the government and then attacks her. And then she comes out and says, I have no idea. These people are crazy. We can't let them win. You know, here's what happens. Crazy guy runs out screaming she's a PSYOP. I can prove it, blah, blah, blah. MAGA, Trump, attacks her. She gets scuttled away by guards. She's fine. Then everyone at the Super Bowl is watching. Everyone in the world is watching. Not really 20 million people, but still. You've got this big event, massive cultural impact. Taylor Swift is being pulled out by security. The game's interrupted. What's going on? Travis is losing it. He's like, these Trump guys, they're crazy. They've been screaming that she's a government agent. This has got to stop. Then Taylor Swift is given an interview, you know, a day later, and she's like, It's crazy how he made up this whole scenario in his head. And even in like the most like psyop-y scenario, Republicans are still bad. Like, mind you, his thing is that conservatives are so easy to trigger to kill someone that all you need to do is say that Taylor Swift wants people to vote for Joe Biden. And that's enough to, mind you, he could have easily said that the PSYOP would be faking a Republican, a MAGA hat wearing Republican to try to harm Taylor Swift. Instead, he said the PSYOP is just to convince Republicans to try to kill Taylor Swift by saying that she wants to vote for Biden. Even in his own make-believe dream world where everybody is against him,
Republicans are still the bad guy. They're that bad of people that you can't even dream of a world where they're better than simply evil. He can't even do it. Are we the baddies? I guess so. That's wild, ain't it? That's so wild. Yes, the NFL has gone woke, and the upcoming Super Bowl is appealing to many in that particular camp, the wokeites. I, for one, will be tuning out, but I'm sure things will work out for the best. It will at least be exciting. Bro's actually talking like a fucking manga villain. I, for one, won't be there, but make sure to put on a good show. I'm sure it'll be exciting. Okay, calm down. I'm telling you to calm down. They're all so sick. We do have a mental health crisis in this country, don't we? Close enough game, and the result will wrap up in a wonderful season-long narrative. So, where are the stories from those on the right? Why are we always playing defense? Where's our offense? Recently, I watched Tucker Carlson's interview, the internet sensation on X, who goes by the moniker Catturd. Catturd, of course, is not his real name, like William or Mike or Carl Catturd. Nonetheless, he has an interesting story about how he went from being a drug-using, tie-dye wearing, honest-to-goodness hippie to championing the common sense viewpoint of the right. What happened? While working construction, Catturd and his builder buddies, man who's never worked with his hands a day in his life, builder buddies, his skull, snap it. I don't want to be that guy. Guy's talking mad fruity. Shows up to the construction site. Hi, builder buddies. Don't go on an I-beam alone. Make sure to bring your builder buddy. Okay, brother. They might actually beat his ass. You know my man's never worked in construction because you know for a fact he'd have a heart attack when he saw so many Mexicans working. He'd fall to his knees when he saw how many Mexicans were building. Builder buddies. My builder buddy. Him and his builder buddies would listen to Rush Limbaugh on the radio. Oh, that's what's wrong with them. Because he overwhelmingly agreed with Rush and his arguments against the left. Catturd soon came to realize that he himself was a conservative. Okay, he was never a hippie. He was just a guy who liked to smoke weed. Okay, good to know. Bro said he was a hippie, and what he means is that he used to like to smoke weed. Okay, cool. Catturd decided to start tweeting his own opinions, and before long found himself internet famous. All right, buddy. Tweeting his own opinions. Actually, you know the funniest thing about this is because conservatives always believe, it's always the joke that they think that nobody is a free thinker besides them, and that's why they always think the same way. Because they're all free thinkers. What's even funnier about this is because he just said that he just started listening to Rush Limbaugh and was like, yo, this guy's spitting. And so he just started to repeat what Rush Limbaugh was saying. And then he said it was his own opinions for some reason. Weird stuff. God doesn't even understand what the hell he's saying. He actually doesn't even get it. His tweets even got under the skin of the highly mighty, such as the former representative Adam Kinzinger. Catturd posted a cartoon mocking the congressman's support for the war in Ukraine, and this started a heated tweet exchange. Kissinger threatened to punch Catturd lights out if he ever met him in the field of battle. Please snap this guy's bones. Holy shit. Honestly, this article is probably even worse than I thought it would be. In the field of battle. War. The video games are a cheap facsimile of the war that men go through every single day. Now, why would a relatively small player in the culture war be used here as an example of pushback against Taylor Swift against the Taylor Swifts of the world? I think it comes down to what's going on behind the scenes. The left controls all the big messaging outlets known as mainstream media. Oh, except for Blaze Media and Fox News, and basically Fox News being the biggest mainstream media organization in the entire country, except for them, and being the biggest political talking heads on every social media platform, from Twitter to YouTube to Facebook and Instagram. We're being silenced. We're silenced. We're so silent. I can always hear their dumbasses spewing garbage. They must not be that silenced. It's crazy how that works out. It's so wild how that works out. But the right seems to have a whole army of rabble rousers behind the scenes on social media. In the political days of yore, Nixon in the 1970s, the term silent majority referred to folks who were strong, powerful motivating force in the culture, but did not have a media megaphone. Something similar is stirring today. No, it ain't. Apparently, no, it ain't. Listen, if the silent majority existed, why in the world have you guys been losing so many elections in a row? Because apparently this silent majority is not only silent, they're also invisible, intangible. That maybe they're voting in another plane of existence that we don't know of. It's possible. That may be possible. Who knows? Stop being cringe then. My biggest thing, I've been talking about this recently because it really like hit me. It's so simple, but it's also so profound to me. The idea that what's wrong with conservatives and the reason why they keep losing is because they're just weird. They're just weird people. They're super weird. Nobody likes them. And they're just weird. They're hard to follow. They're hard to understand. They're completely in a cult these days. Like rioting at the Capitol was just such an incredibly crazy thing to go from this is war, we're going to riot at the Capitol, we're going to take back our country, to everybody who was there is actually everybody who was there was actually an Antifa Fed looking to make the right look bad, to actually it was us and it was based actually, but it wasn't a crime and it wasn't an insurrection, even though we did want to stop the certification of the election results, right? Like your average conservative believing that a 10-year-old should be forced to give birth, a Republican coming out not too long ago in Missouri saying that forcing a woman to have forcing a woman to die from a non-viable pregnancy that a rapist gave her is actually the best healing that a woman can have from being sexually assaulted. Right, forcing 10-year-olds to be forced to give birth to their like assaulter's baby, all this type of stuff. Their weird hyperfixation on like women's eggs, their weird hyperfixation on race. People like Charlie Kirk coming out to say that if a black person is like driving a bus or flying a plane, he's going to think that the person's there because like the left put him there and not because he actually got there himself, right? His spies, right? We're always wanting to give taxes to rich people. They always want to give tax breaks to rich people. Can't even pass their own bills these days. It's just like, what are you talking about, man? They're just so weird. They're so weird. Look at this weird conspiracy theory about talking about how the powers that be are controlling like controlling the NFL to be able to push Taylor Swift to overturn Donald Trump. Like Donald Trump actually winning the election when he very clearly absolutely lost. Like, what are you talking about? What are you saying? You're weird. Yo, chat, hit me. Do you guys have any like recent, or do you remember any Republican just straight up being super weird moment that I'm not remembering right now? Well, you guys have any about a Republican just being super, just absolutely weird? Like such a terminally online weirdo. Like think about it. They're talking about one of the biggest megastars to ever exist, like Taylor Swift, to a 50-year-old man who makes his money by posting on Twitter named Catturd. Yeah, Trump with the child beauty pageants. Everything involving Lauren Boebert. I wanted to talk about Lauren Boebert recently because she actually had there was a debate that she completely lost in her new district because she left the last district that she was in because she knew she was going to lose. Oh yeah, the Jewish space lasers. That one. Marjorie Taylor bringing up pictures of Hunter Biden's penis live on air on C-SPAN in Congress. She's cooked. Just weird behavior. They're so weird. Donald Trump saying that you can cure COVID by injecting light into people's veins.
The new headline is Trump asks people to go outside. That's dangerous. Here we go. Same old group. You ready? I hope people enjoy the sun. And if it has an impact, that's great. I'm just hearing this, not really for the first time. I mean, there's been a rumor that a very nice rumor that you go outside in the sun or you have heat and it does have an effect on other viruses. But now we get it from one of the great laboratories of the world, I have to say. Covers a lot more territory than just this. This is probably an easy thing, relatively speaking, for you.
Yeah, DeSantis eating pudding with his fingers, and my mommy, I mean my wife. My mommy, I mean my wife. Come on, man. What are you doing? He should have hit him with the, yeah, I called her mommy. I'm not lying, nor trying to deny it. He should have just been like, yeah, I called my wife mommy. You don't? It's so good. This is real too, just so you know.
My mommy or my wife, and we have my mommy or my wife, and we have
my mommy, I mean my wife. Ooh, hell no, dude. Wait, he did. You think this should be a dono sound? Really, when somebody donates, they hit him with the
my mommy or my wife.
My mommy, I mean my wife. Maybe just keep it at the first part where he just says my mommy, you know?
My mommy.
My mommy. Meatball mommy. It feels right. It feels so right. It's never felt more right than it is right now. Bold, outspoken champions on the right may have been shoved to the sidelines. Think of Tucker Carlson, whose newly found home on X is roaring like a house fire. It's not actually. He's dropped a lot of viewers. But with that being said, but added to their continued influence, rising stars like Turning Points USA Charlie Kirk, the guy who said that people should go to the border and shoot and kill migrants crossing the border, and mainstays like Glenn Beck and Eric Metax, who? Do actually WHO Megalo who? Eric Meta-Axis? Who? Do you guys know who this is? Mainstays. How can it be a mainstay when he literally lost his show? Dog who? Both of whom I've worked with previously. And let's just say that America's personal 2024 Super Bowl this year's presidential election, is far from played out. Be encouraged. Our movement is grassroots. And when we can build on the conservative clawing and scratching of a guy, our movement is grassroots. And when we can build, on the conservative clawing and scratching of a guy named Catturd, anything is possible. Yeah, you guys, are they at a lack of writers? Do they have nobody who writes for this shitty publication? Are you serious? You gotta be joking. Like, you actually gotta be joking me. You gotta be jorking me if you think that I'm gonna believe this bullshit. Are you serious right now? Elon wrote this. Elon might have wrote this. I want to do a segment on Elon sometime soon about his God complex, because Elon Musk does actually believe that that he has a superhuman level of intellect and was given to Earth to save it from itself. Like, he genuinely believes that. That's why he has so many kids. That's why he wants to be like South African Genghis Khan, apartheid Clyde, because he actually believes that he needs to pass down his seed to other children to make more brilliant people to save Earth, because only the smartest people can do it. Him and his children will be the ones to save Earth. Yeah, actually, genuinely. That's why he wants to impregnate as many women as possible. But Elon is below average intelligence. I wouldn't listen. I'm not gonna say yeah, but weird as hell article, my man. You could have just been normal, but instead, this really. I don't know if writing for the Blaze is your full time, but if it's not, don't quit your day job, brother. Don't get caught up in the hanky panky of right wing. Shut up. Bro actually wrote hanky panky. We need to beat him. We're snapping his bones. We're snapping his bones. Oh, sorry. I didn't see you there. If you're enjoying the content, hit the subscribe button. If you don't, it'll make Boo very sad. I know a bunch of you who are watching are not subscribed. Join the frenzy. You won't regret it. Thank you, Boo.